All right, Shalom. All praise to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakaha Kwadash. Double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Okay, this had came across my feed. All right, it's from IUIC Nigeria. Okay, and we're gonna listen to it. All right, I'm gonna try and keep my emotions under control. All right, but when I saw this, I was very upset. All right, and you're gonna see why. All right, so let me scroll up, and then we're gonna scroll back down and let it play from the beginning. All right.
That question. Christ was from Africa. So how the hell he look like this? Look like man's coming from.
You hear that? Christ. All right, his name is Yahweh Shai. All right, and your leader knows this. All right, he used to call upon Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, which are the correct names of the Most High, which is Yahweh, and his son's name, which is Yahweh Shai. All right, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'in, Hada, Shem name, okay, of Yahweh Shai. All right, those names are a spiritual mystery. Same thing with the ancient Hebrew. That's a deep spiritual mystery that was revealed to great men of the Lord, okay, at 1 West 125th Street in Harlem, New York, all right? And this is like a key cornerstone of our faith, all right, is those names and the ancient Hebrew, okay? It really begins with the names, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, all right? And your leader, Bishop Nathaniel, he used to call on those names, all right? So not only did you get the name wrong, but you said something completely retarded, all right? You said he was from Africa, okay? And that, I mean, that's crazy. All right. So we're going to go to Matthew 2. All right. And that's just a complete lie. All right. Why would you say that? It's very simple, that a very simple fact in the scriptures that he was born where? In Bethlehem. All right. And he grew up in Nazareth. All right. Now, did Joseph take Yahushua and Mary to Egypt? Yes, they escaped to Egypt for a time, and then they came back to the land, all right? So we're going to try and breeze through all of St. Matthew, the 2nd chapter, all right? Because this is just completely false, all right? And I'm gonna play it again, just so that you brothers can hear it, all right? Listen to this.
Christ was from Africa. So how the hell he look like this? Look like.
Christ was from Africa. That's right. What? Come on. You're supposed to know the scriptures, all right? You go out there and teach. Look. I should hope you know where the Messiah was born, if you're going out there teaching. All right, 2 Timothy 2:15. Study to show thyself approved unto the Most High, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. See, you're not rightly dividing the word of truth. You're just saying stuff, all right? And really, you should be ashamed of yourself, all right? You didn't know where the Lord was born, all right? And you're going out there calling yourself prophesying? No, all right? That's terrible, all right? This is terrible work right here, okay? And if you're just saying it to appeal to these Africans, which it's Nigeria, so, a lot of them are Jake, if not the majority of them are Jake, but nevertheless, it doesn't matter, all right? You're going out there and saying something completely false, all right? If they speak not. And then you're supposed to, if you make a claim, you got to back it up with the scriptures, right? Isaiah 8:20, it says, to the law and to the testimony, if they speak not according to this word, it is because there is no light in them, all right? Let's actually get that word light. Never checked it out before, but let's see what that word means in the Hebrew. All right, the word is shakar, I believe, shakar. Okay, shakar. All right, so it says dawn as adverb. All right, dawn literal, figurative. Okay, so nothing we can really get out of that. But if they speak not according to this word, all right, it is because there is no light in them. All right. So, you just saying random stuff, all right? Like, you're just making stuff up as you go, all right? That's not what we're supposed to do, all right? So let's watch it one more time, all the way through.
Africa, man. So what do you think you need to do with that cross? You need to rip that damn thing off your neck, man. You need to take that damn cross off and throw that joker across the street. You see that trash over there? Take it off. Take it off. All praise to the Most High. Throw that thing, man. Throw that thing across the damn street, man. Christ was from Africa.
Yeah, you heard it, So, just stupid. It's just nonsense, And I'm sorry, I don't mean to, get personal or anything, But, this is, come on. How are you going to say he's from Africa? All right. Let's go back to St. Matthew. All right, the 2nd chapter, and we're going to show you, all right? And matter of fact, before we do that, let's take a look. All right, so this is a Bible map, right, of Israel at the time of Yahushai. Okay, so take a look right here. See Bethlehem, okay, in Judea. All right, so that's the southern part of Israel, the southern kingdom, as it were. All right, then you have Egypt down here in the bottom left corner. Okay, which is where Yahushai and his family, or Joseph took Yahushai and Mary, right, fled there, came back to ultimately to Nazareth, right, all right, where Yahushai grew up. Okay, so let's read St. Matthew the 2nd chapter. All right, matter of fact, first let's read Micah 5:2. It says, "But thou Bethlehem Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Judah, yet out of thee shall he come forth unto me, that is to be ruler in Israel, whose going forth have been from old of everlasting." Have been of old from everlasting. All right, in the NLT, Micah 5:2, "But you, O Bethlehem Ephrathah, are only a small village among all the people of Judah, yet a ruler of Israel will come from you, one whose origins are from the distant past." Okay, talk about Yahushai. All right, so, and I mean, this is an extremely basic fact to just get wrong, and to just proclaim it, and nobody came and pulled you brothers to the side when you posted this. You didn't get a phone call like he wasn't born in Africa. Nobody corrected you. The St. Matthew 2:1, it says, "Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, okay, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him." And ultimately that star was, a chariot. But it says right here, right, when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea. Okay, let's take a look one more time, right? Born in Bethlehem of Judea. So he was born in the land of Israel, okay, not Africa. All right. St. Matthew 2:3. "When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where the Messiah should be born. And they said unto him, In Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, And thou Bethlehem in the land of Judah art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared." That's the chariot, okay? So-called UFO. "And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, Go and search diligently for the young child." Okay, who is that young child? Yahushai, okay? Who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. "And when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. And when they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star, which they saw in the east, went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Mary his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. Okay, and by the way, Mary conceived seed by Joseph. All right, they had sex like regular people do. All right, Yahushua didn't just pop up in his mother's womb out of nowhere. The Most High did not send an angel to pop another man's woman. That's sickening. That's adultery. All right, because she was already, betrothed or promised to Joseph. All right, that would be, so the Most High did not send an angel down to sleep with a woman who was already betrothed to another man. That would be a sick, foul, horrible thing. Why would the Lord do that? All right, he wouldn't do something like that. Okay, so Yahushua was conceived of a regular old sex between Joseph and Mary. Okay, just the same way everyone else is born. Okay, just wanted to throw that in there. And fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts. Okay, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned of the Most High in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. All right. St. Matthew 2:13, the flight to Egypt. Okay. And now I want to make a point right here. It is possible that that these IUIC, individuals, that the point that they're trying to make is that you could classify the land of Israel as so-called being like a part of like Northeast Africa. I don't know. That creates confusion. If that was really what you wanted to say, to the brothers that were, in this video, if you should happen to see this, if that was the point you were trying to make, you should have made that clear. You just said, Christ was from Africa, which, no, he was from the land of Israel. Okay. Now, if you want to make some kind of a geographical argument that you could classify that land as so-called Africa, okay, whatever. I really, it would be considered Southwest Asia, but nevertheless, St. Matthew 2:13, and when they departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. Okay? When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night, and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, okay, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called my son. All right? And that's Hosea 11:1, okay? Matthew 2:16, Herod slaughters babies, okay? Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem and in all the coast thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremiah the prophet, saying, In Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping, and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted, because they are not. Okay? So Herod was slaying all those babies, all right, in Bethlehem, okay, 2 years old and under, okay? The male babies, as it were, okay? So verse 19, it says, But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeareth in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise and take the young child with his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead which sought the young child's life. And he arose and took the young child and his mother, and came into the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus did reign in Judea in the room of his father Herod, he was afraid to go thither. Notwithstanding, being warned of the Most High in a dream, he turned aside into the parts of Galilee. Okay, which, let's look at the map again, right? Galilee is up here, all right? North of Samaria, okay, which is north of Judea. All right, so I'm sorry, let's go back to blue letter. St. Matthew 2:23, and he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken of by the prophets, or which was spoken by the prophets, he shall be called a Nazarene. All right. So, excuse me. So there you go. Let's just to show you, right? Nazareth is in Galilee, right? It's right here. All right, kind of close to the border of Samaria. All right. So Yahushua was what? Let's recap, right? He was born in Bethlehem, like the prophecy says. They fled to Egypt, and then they ultimately settled in Nazareth, which is where he grew up. All right. So in no way, shape, or form was the Messiah from Africa. All right. Unless your argument is that this piece of land right here, the land of Israel, as it were, is technically, you could classify it as part of Africa. If that's what you brothers wanted to say, you should have made that clear, but that creates confusion, to say that he was from Africa, he was from the land of Israel. Okay. So I just wanted to go into that, and I pray that was edifying. I hope that that cleared things up, for anybody who may have seen what IUIC said and gotten confused. All right. Because those guys create a lot of confusion. All right. It's a lot of nonsense over there at the IUIC. All right. It's not sound doctrine over there. And we believe very strongly through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai that their leader, Bishop Nathaniel, is not a man of the Lord, that he's not looking out for his flock. All right. He's not, he's not ministering this word correctly. Okay. He's in this thing for filthy lucre's sake. All right. Let's get that filthy lucre. Just what? Filthy money. All right. Titus 1:10. For there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision, especially those who know that they're Israelites. All right. There are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers. What's one of the main things that Bishop Nathaniel is deceiving his congregation about is the mark of the beast. All right. And the names of the Most High and his Son. All right. Which the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. All right. As well as the Neuralink brain implant chip. Okay. Verse 11, whose mouths must be stopped, and Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai is going to put a stop to Bishop Nathaniel. Okay, and his big mouth, teaching lies, unless he repents, and we want him to repent, we hope he does repent, and we hope that, his congregation, those among them that are, sincere and just lost, we hope that they are ultimately part of the elect, and we hope they get mercy, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not for filthy lucre's sake. We believe he's sold out. He's teaching things that he ought not, such as the mark of the beast is sin in all of its forms. Instead of what it really is, which is the chip. Okay. So with that, all praise to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim. Rakah HaKwadash, double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the hopefully elect. Shalom.